Hello and thanks for watching. This is my new series called How to Get Started With, and we're going to start with Kerbal Space Program. I've been having a lot of fun with this game. If you take a look down in the lower right hand corner, you'll notice I'm currently on version 0.20.2186. Anyway, I was playing this when it was 0.13, and they've made a lot of changes since then. And I missed a lot of the upgrades on it. Let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to get going here. We're going to do a resumed game, but it's a brand new game that we've got going here. When you first start in the menu here, you have a airplane hangar here, which you can make space planes. You have your standard rocket ship development right here. And then this is for taking a look in outer space here real quick. Again, I have not played on this particular one at all, but this is our planet Kerbal. This is our first moon, M-U-N. And then there's another moon in orbit of Kerbal as well, Minmus. And then, you know, there's even now in the game whole solar systems, which is really, really cool. This is the launch pad itself. Let's jump right in here. Alright, so again, with the getting started, I'm not going to cover details and whatnot. I'm just going to cover the basics. I have some mods on here, so please ignore them. My youngest is a huge fan of Doctor Who, as am I, and so that's why there's a TARDIS one there. So the first thing you have to do is build your own ship. You can come over here to load, and there's going to be some pre-stock ones in, and feel free to pull one out if you want and build those, but I want to show you how to build just a simple ship that will get you into space. So our tabs up here at the top, the very first one is the pods. That's your, where the guys sit. So we'll go ahead and pick one here. Now this is a 3-person one. The controls itself, I left clicked to kind of click it and then drag it up. Now with the pod, we need it to come back down. So let's go ahead and add a parachute to it. Don't worry if you don't remember where stuff is. You can click on each tab to kind of look for the stuff, and honestly, that's what I do most of the time. So under utilities here, there's parachutes. If it's not the right size, okay, like if I was like, oh, is it this one? I can kind of see it's small. I'm not saying it won't work. In case it won't, actually it won't take the stress. But the proper size one will, so we'll plop that little baby on there right there. Now the next thing, I'm gonna get into some stuff kind of quick. Just bear with me. You can always review the video itself. RCSs, those are the things that let us rotate in space. With the little jets. I'm gonna need some fuel for that. So let me find the one here that I like to use. There it is. I'm going to put it right there, and now we have to put some actual rockets on that, some RCS rockets. So I'm going to take my thrusters. Now if I put just this one here, it'll only put it there, but I want it on all 4 sides for control. So come down here to lower left, and with my symmetry I'm going to make it 4, and now you'll notice, see how it's got the other ones on there, so we'll plop those on there. So we have parachute, pod, fuel for the thrusters, the RCS, and then we're going to come over here to one more thing. We're going to put in a control. We're going to put in what's called an SAS module. I believe Kerbal calls it space anti-sickness or something like that. It's basically the flight computer, okay, and we want the advanced one for there. That basically is going to it's going to help our ship stay stable as we go up. Now we're going to add a little bit of fuel here so that when we get into space, that one might be kind of a big one. When we get into space, we can, maybe make a good orbit or whatnot. Now the engines, again, look, just try the different ones. About the only thing you really want to take a look at on there is if it has thrust vectoring. Take a look on the box here. I can't show you with the mouse because of course then the box moves. Not the top line, not the second line telling who manufactured, and under description. Under the next one where it starts off engine max power and blah blah blah, take a look down there. third from the fourth from the bottom. Sorry, thrust vectoring enabled. That just means that your rocket itself can kind of tilt left and right to control. All right, now I'm gonna hold down my middle mouse button and I'm gonna pull back a little bit so I can get my guy up here a little bit. Because now this is our last stage. Okay, and if you take a look in the lower right hand corner, we have our stages. We're not quite ready to have to mess with them too much yet, but that'll let us know, where everything is. Oh, you know what? It brings me to a good point though. When I want to come back in, I don't want all this stuff with my lander. So I got to put what's called a decoupler. Decouplers is it's basically that. It breaks them apart in the sections that I need. Okay. So I'm going to put a decoupler there so when I come back down, I can drop all this dead weight from there. Now I'm going to need another decoupler. This indicates basically my stages. This was my final stage. Well, this is my final re-entry. This is my upper atmosphere. So now I need to get into upper atmosphere. How am I going to do that? Fuel. But of course, fuel's heavy, so we're going to put some stuff on here. I'm not too worried about getting and staying up, really. Maybe I can get into orbit. I'll take a look here. Let's see, this engine was the 200 power. Again, I'm on the fourth box. Engine max power 200. Remember that one I put in before was 650 for upper. That may have been overkill, to be honest. 200, 250. There's my big one. And thrust vectoring is enabled on that one. Alright, so now I have basically a giant rocket here. I'm going to put some more on the side here because I want to show you how to add things to the side. Now we have a couple different attachments that we can use. I'm going to use this radial, and I don't want 4, so let me come back down to my 2. Okay. I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to put some more fuel on with some more rockets. Okay, see how it went green? Just using my right mouse button to turn. There, see how it kind of snapped on? Where's that rocket? There we go. Okay, now, you see how I have my decoupler here, but there's really nothing here. And I kind of want to make it a little more stable. I'm going to come down to what's called the struts. Okay, if you know any of this stuff, fantastic. Oh, you know what? I do want to... you know what? I think 2 would have been the way to go with that. Symmetry. There we go. Now see how it put on the back side here? Let me turn my spaceship around. See it put one there as well. We put another on this side. Again, try not to take too awfully long here. I just kind of want to show you a basic ship. I'm going to put another thing on here. Now this may be overkill for control. You remember that SAS unit that was on there? The advanced? I'm going to put a couple of the small normal SAS instead of the advanced. They're going to help me control a little bit on that initial takeoff. The computers will have like a load that they can handle. You know, if it's too much, they can't handle it. These are just kind of buffers to help. Now, I'm going to be in a lower atmosphere. Excuse me. Let's put some winglets on just to control my takeoff. Make sure that I'm fairly stable. And then last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a couple boosters on. I need again apologize, the couplers. 2. We'll put these here. Oh, by the way, This one right here is snap to angle. I can turn it off and put things wherever I want, but I'm going to have the snap to angle on just to help me keep it uniform around the edges. Okay. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea. I haven't played with this design enough to know if this is going to get me into space or not. So, no promises. This could be an epic fail. One of the things I love about Kerbal, there can be a lot of epic fails. Alright, I am going to bring this whole thing a little closer to the ground. There. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to now come over here to structural, and there's the launch stability enhancer. We're gonna enhance the stability a little bit, and we're gonna put that on right there. Now take a look on the lower right hand corner when I let go. See where that goes. Okay, awesome. That went into stage 6. I do want this to let go the minute that my rockets are firing. So let's take a look at staging real quick. Alright, so if I mouse on it, I'll kind of go back and forth. You'll notice how it's kind of highlights a little. I hope you can see that on the screen. Don't know. So let's take a look. There's those engines. I'm gonna want all my boosters and all my rockets to fire at the same time here, except my upper stage, obviously. So let me grab these 2 boosters, pull them down into box 6. So now I have my boosters, my outer rockets, and let's also have the main rocket firing as well. Which brings me to another point. Before I do anything else, I want the fuel. I want, when I release these, I want this middle one to still have extra fuel. I don't want it to burn up at the same time. And it's got an extra fuel tank, so that'll help. But let's put some fuel pipes on it so that they will feed from this outer into the middle. So when I release these, this should still have full fuel. So that's the external fuel ducts. I just take that and I run it over to there. And let me zoom in for you here real quick. You'll notice the arrows even point which way it goes. So the fuel is going to go from here. It's going to feed into here. So when these run dry, my middle one should still have fuel. Now obviously solid rockets don't have fuel, so there's no point in running a fuel line there. Alright, so quick review. Got our parachute, we got our little Kerbals, we got a detachment here for the upper stage, we got our rockets or our thrusters for maneuvering in space, assuming we make it. We have fuel for them. We have the advanced computer. We have our actual rocket, the thrusting. We have a decoupler. Oh no, sorry, fuel and then our rocket with a decoupler. Then we have 3 fuel tanks. We got some wings for stability. We got our normal SAS instead of the advanced, some thrusters. All right, well let's go ahead and save this, and we'll call this. Oh, you know what? We called it unidentified, and that's probably a good name. All right, so let's take a look at our staging. We're going to release our clamps. All our rockets, including our thrusters, are going to go. And then after it's done, we want to release these 2 clamps right here. So let's see if that one's there. What is this one? Oh, I'll bet you that's the boosters. It is the boosters. I'll tell you what, I'm going to hope that they go at a different time. So I am going to pull them into their own separate little category here. So I can drop the solid rockets, and then I can, to try and drop the dead weight, and then I can drop the fuel tanks themselves in a separate stage. And then when all of that's done, then I can drop in stage 4 here. I drop the side tank. Stage 3, I drop the whole bottom half, and I fire up that rocket. And then I drop the rocket when I want to come back down into space from there. Alright. Now that may have been pretty quick on the staging. I think you'll spend a lot of time kind of planning it. You'll see where you make mistakes when Kerbals die and scream and things like that. Alright, let's go ahead and save it again because we made a couple quick changes. And let's launch. Okay, I just wanted to let you know I have to... I did the launch the first time, but my sounds were so loud I had to record it. You couldn't hear me over the over everything. All right, so this is the second launch. Everything should go pretty well here, considering I've already done a test flight. I want to show you what you're taking a look at the launching items. Let's start in the upper left. You can speed up time for the game, which is great for orbiting and one not moving to other planets. This is our stages of our rocket. Down in the lower left, we have our flight controls, and they're controlled with WASD. A and D is my yaw, W and S is my pitch, and then Q and E is the roll. You can hit your caps lock for fine tuning, so that they don't they're not as aggressive in their turns. At the bottom of the screen is our HUD. We have the little arrow to bring it down and up. That's the same for when you're on the map. You can bring that up, and I recommend that you do so. On the left side of the HUD is our thrust. With the left shift and left control, we can turn that up and turn that down. Let's go ahead and turn that up so we don't forget right out of the gate. On the right hand side is the G-force that our Kerbals are going to endure, and then of course the HUD itself tells us what direction that we're facing. Here's our Kerbals. Say hello guys. They usually will start screaming once I launch. In the upper right, we have our resources, which are nice to be able to take a look at so we can see how long they can breathe and things like that. Mostly used for long flights into the solar system and whatnot. At the very top, we have our altimeter, so we can see our altitude. We have the three stages of the atmosphere here, and then of course how high up we are as well. On the right hand side, if we had a lander or a space plane, we could control brakes and gears and lights if we had those attached as well. All right, well, I'm not going to make a big production out of the launching. We'll go ahead and just hit it here, and hopefully the thrusting won't be too loud for this shoot. So let's take a go. And we are off. T turns on our flight control. R is for our in-space RCS controls. I do usually want to start with the SAS on. You'll notice on the left here, our engines are heating up a little. I'm going to tag that back one little notch just for that middle engine. That's the one that's warming up. You'll notice our fuels are running low here, and we'll go ahead and drop them as they run out to drop that dead weight. We're still in lower atmosphere. No need to do a gravity turn just yet. Alright, so there goes the outside ones. It's not a rocket boosters though. We'll wait till both of those. I should have probably had those staged differently since they ran out first. Let me go ahead and turn off the flight controls, and I'm going to start a little bit of a gravity turn here. Gravity turn is so that all my energy is not spent just going up, but also starting my orbit. Starting that turn. Let me hit the map here to kind of show you what I mean by that if I can. Oh, there we go. Okay, well the upward is just drive this number straight up, but you'll notice I'm making the turn, so it's starting to go there. My highest point, my apogee, is only 37,000 at the moment. Let's go back. Take a look here. We got a lot of fuel going, burning nice. Let me go back, see where my apogee's at. We're spending some of our energy just stretching this out, and some of it driving it up. If we spend all our energy, all our fuel just driving it up, then we'd have to spend a lot more to stretch it out once we got to that point. So there's really no point in wasting all the fuel doing it twice. Okay, now we're getting to an apogee here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lower all my thrust. Okay, so look, if you know what these are, forgive me for botching it. If you don't know what it is, I'll give you the basics. Apogee is your high point of your arc here. When we get into a orbit, there's going to be a high point and a low point. And the low point, obviously, at the moment is the ground, but when we get into orbit, there'll be a low part of my orbit, which is called the perigee. And we use the 2 points, the high and the low point, to adjust our orbit. Now, the reason I've turned off my thrust is because I'm waiting until my spaceship gets a little higher in my arc, and then I'm going to lean the ship on a horizontal position, and I'm going to give it a good thrust, a lot of burn, to stretch this line out so that it'll go into an orbital turn. Let me go ahead and go to this, and I'll show you. Sorry, I'm on the dark side here. Turn off my flight computer. I'm going to lean this bad boy over. Now he turns like a big old tanker that he is. So he doesn't turn very easily. Alright, so you'll notice I'm going to come right over here to the cross, the horizontal mark, and boom, right there. He overshot a little bit. Oh, come on back. Like I said, he's a big whale. He's a big boy. I could turn on my RCS if I needed to, also, for maneuvering. All right. Well, we'll leave it there for a moment. So you'll notice I'm pretty horizontal. So when I come up to the top of my my arc here, I'm going to do a full burn, and that's going to burn to the right in this case, which is going to try and speed up my horizontal speed, sending me into orbit. I'm not an astrophysicist, nor do I play one on YouTube. All right. We'll give it a little bit more here. I'm at, if you'll take a look here, I'm 172. My high is 183. You know what? I'm going to call that good. I'm going to go ahead and thrust up all the way. And you'll notice once I've thrusted up, see how my my orbit is stretching out. And I am going to want that, obviously, to go the entire way around Kerbal, the great planet of Kerbal. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm out of fuel there, so I'm going to drop that part. I'm going to engage my last part. I kind of wondered if I was almost out of fuel. I used a lot of fuel getting up. Probably too much, to be honest. I could have been a lot more efficient. Alright, let's take a look. Ah, there it comes. So you'll notice now I am no longer just, coming up and going back down on the planet. I'm now in an orbit. So my high point is 471, and my low point is 133. It's not a very circular orbit, and I would just adjust that. I get to the the perigee and the periapsis, and I'd do another burn there, and I could make that more circular. And then when I want to bring this down, same thing. If I got to the periapsis, turned around and thrust the opposite direction I'm currently flying. Right now I'm flying in a counterclockwise. Can't say it. Counterclockwise rotation from this angle. Yeah, I'll make it clockwise. How's that? I'm going this way, clockwise now. And so when I got to my my periapsis, I would just point the opposite direction, and that would lower it down. The apoapsis would come down and then hit the planet surface at this point. All right, well, folks, the video has been pretty long, and I just wanted to show you how to get started. I'm wondering if I should show you how to do a descent. I suppose I probably really should. Let's go ahead and speed up time here just a little bit. Remember, it's stretching a little bit because even though I've turned off my my throttles, it's all still going to burn here. I'm still moving. Alright, I've sped up time. Alright, Now I've slowed it back down. So take a look at my HUD here. I'm going to turn on my RCS for this one. Turn off my SAS. Turn it back on. There we go. I am pointing the exact opposite direction from where I was. Let me go ahead and I'll do a try to get to where I can see here. I'm gonna do a burn, see how my periapsis is coming down. I'm now, and I'm doing it's gonna be a pretty radical drop down. But you'll notice I'm coming back down into Kerbal, and it'll probably be a landing. If I wanted to stretch that out, which, you know what, let's go ahead. Let's turn our ship around a little bit. Put a burn in the opposite direction. I'm gonna turn off my RCS. I'm gonna give a little bit of burn this way, just to kind of see how it's moving me out a little more over the ocean. I don't want to go back into orbit, obviously, and I got quite a bit of fuel if I need to adjust that. So now we are going to be coming down. In fact, we're going to be coming down pretty hard and pretty fast, but that's okay. I kill my little Kerbals, they'll forgive me in another life. Alright. Now, like I said, I'm speeding up time here. I don't want to do too much of this on full speed, because I may as well just kill him right now if that's the case. Hang on a second for me, son. I'm going to go ahead and drop that final stage. As I mentioned to you, dropping that dead weight. And my rockets are going to, I could have burned off some of that speed. There's my re-entry. There's no point in doing my parachute until I'm out of this. No, hang on, son. My youngest son has decided to come in and watch me kill my Kerbals. I'm way too high, really, for the parachute to work at this point. Sometimes the speed, speeding up the game time, will affect how the parachute and whatnot works. Parachute's not going to deploy until I think it's 500 meters. This one might be 1,000, but I think it's 500. And then I'm going to speed up just a little bit so you don't have to surround up. You'll notice it deployed, what was that, about 2,500. I'll try and turn it off before they hit the water itself. Otherwise, they'll hit too hard. Since I've taken my little Kerbals this far, they've put their trust in me, which was frankly blind trust. They never should have trusted me. And that's how you get into orbit, and how you deorbit, and also how you land. You'll notice my little Kerbals got lucky this time and lived. Like I said, I've had a lot of fun with a Kerbal Space Program. I totally encourage you to pick it up and try it out. They've made a lot of work just in the last 6 months. It's hard to say where they're going to even be, another 6 from now. I've really been enjoying it. So check it out. Thanks for sticking with me, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.